A sophisticated constitutional mechanism has been deployed to manage a royal crisis. The recent actions concerning Andrew Mountbatten Windsor represent a profound shift in how the monarchy handles internal scandal. Gone are the days of blunt, political, light-charged parliamentary interventions. The current strategy relies on administrative subtlety and modern legal instruments. This approach seeks to enforce public invisibility without triggering damaging legislative battles. The core of this maneuver involves the peerage titles Andrew holds. He remains in law the Duke of York, Earl of Inverness and Baron Killyleave. The king has not substantively stripped had these peerages from his brother. Such a permanent removal would still necessitate an act of parliament. This legislative route is fraught with peril for the royal family's reputation. It would mandate a public debate within the House of Commons and the House of Lords. Instead, the king initiated a formal process for the title's disuse. This formalization leverages a relatively recent administrative document. This document is known as the Roll of the Peerage. The Roll of the Peerage was only created in 2004. Its existence is a direct consequence of earlier constitutional upheaval. The House of Lords Act of 1999 fundamentally altered the peerage system. That act stripped most hereditary peers of their automatic right to legislate. Prior to 1999, new peers received a writ of summons to Parliament from the sovereign. They were then enrolled in the Register of the Lords' Rights. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor followed this exact procedure in 1986, when hereditary peers were largely excluded. The register became incomplete. Queen Elizabeth II issued a royal warrant to establish the roll in 2004. This new document was designed to maintain a complete record of all hereditary peerages. The king has now used this modern record keeping system for disciplinary action. He sent a royal warrant bearing his signed manual to the Lord Chancellor. The Lord Chancellor, currently NPD, David Lammy, heads the Crown Office. The warrant instructs the titles to be struck from the roll of the peerage. This instruction is an exercise of the sovereign's prerogative powers. The Crown Office maintains this document of record. The actual update is performed by I. Garter, Principal King of Arms. This official is the head of the Heralds of the College of Arms. He is the same individual who read the late sovereign's titles at her funeral. The Duchy of York has already been removed from the roll's online record. The legal implication of this removal is clear and immediate. Any peer not enrolled is not entitled to use their titles publicly. They cannot be referred to by their titles in any context. They are also denied any precedent. crucially striking the title do not dissolve the peerage itself. The peerage is not vacant and can not be granted to another person. It remains legally attached to Andrew until his death. If Andrew were to father a son, that son could still claim the inheritance. The son could register a claim to be enrolled in the peerage roll later. This subtle administrative move was impossible before 2004. It allows the appearance of decisive action without permanent constitutional commitment. If the accusations against Andrew were later proven unfounded in court, his titles could be re-entered onto the roll without delay. No new letters patent would be needed to recreate him as Duke of York. This mechanism neatly bypasses the need for a contentious Act of Parliament. The king has thus avoided the reputation damage of a public legislative debate. The original 2004 warrant allowed P. to request removal from the roll. It contained no provision for anyone else, including the sovereign, to mandate removal. The king's recent action, therefore, enters new and untested legal territory. It is currently assumed that the king can amend the roll via another royal warrant. This assumption is based on the roll's creation via the same mechanism. Whether this action is entirely legal remains an open question for constitutional experts. It establishes a novel and interesting precedent for future royal discipline. This approach contrasts sharply with historical methods of peerage removal. The initiative to permanently strip titles via legislation must come from Parliament members. It cannot be initiated by the king himself. While Parliament could introduce a bill, they are likely to avoid it. Andrew has not been convicted of any crime in a court of law. The situation surrounding Andrew's former princely title is far simpler. The king wields near absolute power over princely dignities. These titles are governed by the royal prerogative. The foundational document is the letters patent issued by King George I. This decree was issued on November 30, 1917. It grants the style of Royal Highness and the dignity of Prince or Princess. This right is afforded to children of the sovereign and children of the sons of the sovereign. Andrew was His Royal Highness, the Prince Andrew from birth, due to this patent. Until recently, the use of these styles was voluntary, not obligatory. There are numerous precedents for royals choosing not to use these rights. The children of the Duke of Edinburgh and the Earl of Wessex are examples. Lady Louise Windsor also chooses not to use her entitlement. Andrew had already agreed in 2022 to see using the style of Royal Highness. However, in a statement released 12 days ago, he affirmed his use of the titular dignity of Prince. The king can elevate or strip anyone he wishes of this princely status. The king could even hypothetically confer or the title upon any citizen he desired. To revoke Andrew's princely status, the king must issue a royal warrant. This warrant must affix the Great Seal to new letters patent. These new letters patent specify Cali revoke the princely status. This action requires no recourse to parliamentary involvement whatsoever. The king has seemingly executed this prerogative with the stroke of his pen. This effectively reduces his brawl there to the status of a commoner. Despite this degradation, Andrew's daughters retain their royal status. Beatrice and Eugenie remain royal highnesses and princesses. They maintain this status by virtue of the 1917 letters patent. They are still children of the son of a sovereign. Revoking their titles would necessitate a separate letters patent entirely. The removal of princely dignity triggers the automatic loss of knighthoods. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was a knight companion of the Order of the Garter. He was also a Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order. If his princely status remained, he could legally call himself Sir Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He does not hold these knighthoods by inherent right. Membership in both orders is a direct personal gift of the sovereign. The control of these honors rests entirely with the royal court. The degradation of members at the sovereign's will is well precedented, historically. Evidence of this removal is already visible at Windsor. Andrew's banner and crest as a Knight of the Garter have been removed. They are no longer displayed in St. George Chapel, May. One significant status remains entire. Ely beyond the king's power to alter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor retains high position in the line of succession. He remains 8th in line to the throne. The succession is governed strictly by Act of Parliament. Removing an individual from the line requires legislative action. This has occurred historically in the late 17th and early 18th centuries. Future parliamentary action is always a possibility, though currently unlikely. Parliament will likely avoid such a drastic measure without a legal conviction. Regarding the matter of Royal Lodge, the situation is static. The king cannot unilaterally terminate Andrew's tenancy there. The lease agreement is robust and watertight. Andrew's departure must be entirely voluntary. All actions taken yesterday were reportedly made voluntarily by Andrew. This confirms the cooperative nature of the administrative degradation process. The constitutional handling of this issue demonstrates a preference for subtlety. It avoids the dramatic public confrontations seen in past centuries. The official announcement from King and Palace was oddly worded. It led some to believe that Andrew Yuzunyo's peerages were fully stripped. Constitutional experts confirm TT. His interpretation is inaccurate. A constitutional expert working for Parliament, David Torrance, issued advice. This document, published on October 20th, supported earlier conclusions. It confirms the nuanced reality of the situation. The process is one of enforced disuse, not outright vacancy. The monarchy has utilized a modern administrative loophole. This allows them to manage scandal well, while preserving legal reversibility. This sophisticated voluntary degradation is a hallmark of modern royal crisis management. It reflects the shift from absolute power to administrative governance. The establishment of the 2004 role provide the perfect instrument for this purpose. It allows the appearance of decisive action without the legal permanence of an act of Parliament. This new precedent sets a standard for future royal disciplinary actions. Ensures that the Crown can act swiftly yet reversibly when required. The focus remains on minimizing public scandal and protecting the institution. The legal gymnastics involved underscore the unique nature of British constitutional law. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is now officially designated by his birth name. He has been reduced to a commoner status by royal decree. Yet he remains legally Duke of York and 8th in line to the succession. This dual reality highlights the complexity of the current constitutional moment. The king has achieved the maximum possible effect without parliamentary involvement. He has enforced public silence on the calls, while maintaining legal flexibility. This method is a testament to the evolving power of the royal prerogative. It is a quiet administrative revolution in royal accountability. The precedent set here will define how future generations view royal titles. It moves title management from historical right to administrative privilege. The subtle power of the royal warrant has replaced the drama of the parliamentary bill. This marks a significant, if quiet, constitutional turning point. The focus is on reputation management through legal engineering. This ensures the longevity and stability of the monarchy in a modern context. The voluntary nature of Andrew's compliance enforces the narrative of institutional unity. It is a masterful demonstration of soft power in a hard news environment. The process is complex, but strategically brilliant in its execution. It provides immediate public satisfaction without irreversible legal damage. The role of the peerage, once a mere record, is now a tool of royal discipline. This quiet change in constitutional practice is highly significant. It represents the monarchy adapting its legal tools to contemporary pressures. The king's actions are a modern responds to ancient tradition. They ensure that the crown remains above the political fray of parliamentary debate. The careful distinction between stripping titles and striking them from a list is vital. It is the difference between a permanent ban and a temporary suspension of rights. This subtlety is a key to understanding the current royal landscape. The legal experts will continue to debate the full implications of this new precedent. The ambiguity surrounding the king's right to unilaterally change the role is noteworthy. This move ensures the titles are dormant, waiting a potential future legal resolution. The ability to restore the title's key uniquely is central to this strategy. It provides a pathway back should circumstances dramatically change. This administrative solution is a testament to constitutional flexibility. It avoids the historical drama of legislative title removal. The removal of knighthoods reinforces the overall degradation of status. This ensures he cannot claim any public honorifics derived from the crown. The king has used his reserve power to maximum effect in this matter. The complexity of the peerage removal contrasts the simplicity of the princely title revocation. The 1917 letters patent grants the king unilateral power over princely status. This power was exercised decisively to confirm his commoner status. The preservation of his daughter's title shows the limits of the current action. Their status is protected by the same 1917 decree that governed Andrew's birthright. The focus remains on Andrew's person. Public withdrawal from royal life. The use of the royal warrant demonstrates the power of the sovereign's signature. Instructs officials to carry out the necessary administrative tasks. This entire episode showcases the evolving relationship between the crown and parliament. It emphasizes the increasing reliance on internal administrative solutions for scandal. The constitutional landscape has shifted dramatically since the 19th century. The 2004 rule provides the mechanism for this modern, nuanced approach. The public perception of the titles is now with the administrative reality of disuse. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor faces a full cure defined by legal technicalities. He must navigate the complex reality of being a peer who cannot use his titles. His continued position in the line of succession remains the last vestige of parliamentary protection. This final detail highlights the enduring power of historical statute law. The king has executed a masterful exercise in damage limitation. He has employed constitutional instruments crafted in the modern era. This ensures the reputation of the royal family Neely is shielded from legislative conflict. The subtle removal of title stands a unique precedent in royal history.